The alien city was alive with lights and strange sounds. Tall towers reached the clouds, glowing with energy that humans had never seen on Earth. Inside one of those towers lived a human man, quiet and ordinary. He was only a tenant, paying rent to survive in this alien world. His landlady, however, was no ordinary alien. She belonged to a proud race, tall and sharp-featured. Her skin shimmered like polished stone, and her eyes burned like red fire. She was known in the city as strict, arrogant, and always curious about her human tenant. To her, humans were amusing creatures, too soft, too fragile. She often told her friends that humans were like pets who tried to act like people. And she enjoyed mocking her tenant more than collecting his rent. That evening, she stormed into his room without warning. Her long steps echoed against the floor. "Human," she shouted, her voice sharp. "Why do you always lock your door? What are you hiding from me?" The man sat calmly at his table. His expression did not change. He looked up slowly and answered, "Privacy, that is all." The alien landlady laughed, a cold sound that bounced off the walls. "Privacy? From me? I am your landlady. I own this place. You own nothing." Her tall shadow fell across him as she stepped closer. Her eyes scanned the small human apartment. She wanted to find something, anything, that would prove humans were as strange as she believed. Then her eyes narrowed. She saw something half hidden under his desk. A small container covered with cloth. She stepped closer and pointed. "What is that, human? Show me now." The man stood slowly, his movements calm, not rushed. He placed his hand on the container and looked at her. "It is nothing for you to worry about," he said. Her voice grew louder, filled with mockery. "Nothing. You hide it like treasure. Humans always lie. You fear your secrets being known." The man's eyes met hers. His voice was steady, but his tone carried weight. "I keep it hidden for a reason. You would not understand." The alien laughed again. Louder this time. "Not understand. I understand everything. Your kind is weak, soft, always pretending. I could break you with one hand. What could you possibly hide that I cannot handle?" The man stayed silent. His calm gaze unsettled her for a brief moment. But her pride did not let her stop. She leaned closer, her voice sharper. "Show me, human, or I will take it myself." The tension in the room grew heavy. The alien crowd that had gathered at the open doorway whispered among themselves. They had seen her bully this tenant before. It was always entertaining, but tonight felt different. Tonight, the human's silence felt heavier. One alien whispered, "Why does he not resist?" Another answered, "Maybe he is afraid." But a third added softly, "Or maybe he is waiting." The landlady ignored them. She slammed her clawed hand on the table. "I will not ask again. Show me what you hide, or I will drag it out myself." The man rose fully now, his shoulders squared, his eyes steady and calm. He spoke slowly, each word sharp. "Be careful what you ask for." The alien froze for a heartbeat. The tone of his voice was not fear, not pleading. It was something else, something dangerous. She forced a laugh to cover her unease. "You dare warn me? You are only a tenant. I am your master here." Her hand moved toward the cloth-covered container. She pulled it back, expecting to reveal some weak human tool. Something she could laugh at, but the man's hand shot forward, stopping hers, his grip was firm, stronger than she expected. His eyes locked on hers. "Do not," he said, his voice quiet, but final. The hall outside grew silent. Every alien watching leaned closer. The air was thick with suspense. For the first time, the landlady hesitated. She had mocked this man many times, but never had he looked at her like this. Never had he stopped her hand with such calm force. Her pride demanded she continue. But her instincts whispered danger. She pulled her hand back slowly, her eyes narrowing. You speak as if you have power, human, but you are nothing. Show me what you hide, and prove me wrong. The man's lips curved into the faintest of smiles, not of humor, but of warning. You are so eager to see, but you may not be ready for the truth. The crowd gasped. Their whispers spread quickly. What does he mean? Is he hiding a weapon? Could a human truly have power? The alien landlady's pride burned hotter. She could not let him win with words. She stepped forward again. Her voice fierce. Then show me, human. Show me now. The man looked at her calmly, his voice steady as stone. Very well, you wanted this. Do not forget you chose it, and with that, he reached for the container, slowly pulling back the cloth. The crowd held its breath. The landlady's eyes widened. Suspense wrapped the hall like a net. What was the human hiding? What secret was powerful enough to make even an arrogant alien hesitate? The answer was about to be revealed. Nothing in the galaxy would prepare her for it. Rising tension, the cloth slipped halfway from the container, but the human stopped. His hand froze above it. His eyes locked with the landlady's. A heavy silence spread through the room. The air felt charged, as if something unseen was pressing. Against everyone's chest, the landlady's pride swelled. She thought she had him cornered. She thought he hesitated because he feared her. She leaned closer, her eyes narrowing. Do it, human. Show me. Unless your secret is nothing but a lie. The human's gaze did not waver. His voice was calm, measured. You should think carefully before you insist, the crowd murmured. Their whispers louder now. Some aliens smirked. Expecting the human to finally embarrass himself, others felt the tension and shifted uneasily. They could sense something was different tonight. The landlady scoffed, tossing her head back. Think carefully. I do not fear you, human. I own this building, I own your room, and if you disobey me, I can throw you into the streets. You will beg for mercy then. The man stood straighter. His presence seemed to grow. Not with noise, not with anger, but with a quiet gravity that made the onlookers lean back. He replied softly, You mistake ownership for power. They are not the same. His words carried weight. The landlady blinked, momentarily unsure, but her pride lashed out harder. Power? You call this power? She said, raising her hand and poking his chest with a claw. You are small, weak, and soft. My people crush creatures like you without effort. Do you still dare speak of power? The human glanced down at her claw, pressing against him, then raised his eyes to hers. His voice sharpened slightly, but remained steady. Remove your hand, the landlady smirked, pushing harder. Her voice dripped with arrogance. And if I don't? The man's eyes darkened. His calm voice dropped even lower, carrying through the silence like a cold wind. Then you will understand what you should never have asked for. The crowd froze. Their eyes darted between the two. For the first time, many began to wonder if the human was not bluffing. One alien whispered, his tone. It feels different. Another hissed back. Careful, do you not feel it? He is not afraid, but the landlady was deaf to their unease. Her pride burned too brightly. She laughed loudly, forcing the sound through her own doubt. Empty threats, human. You are nothing more than prey trying to growl like a predator. Her laughter echoed, but it did not spread. The crowd did not join her. Their silence spoke louder than her mockery. The human finally moved. He took a single step forward, forcing her to step back without realizing. His eyes held hers, calm but sharp. His voice steady. You mistake quiet for weakness, and patience for fear. But you will learn tonight what humans truly are. A chill ran through the room. The crowd whispered louder. What does he mean? Is he hiding something? Could humans be more than we thought? The landlady's jaw tightened. Her pride screamed at her not to back down. She snarled, Then prove it. Prove to me that humans are more than weak flesh. Show me your hidden strength. Show everyone here that you are more than a tenant who cowers at my voice." The man tilted his head slightly. His lips curved into the faintest smile. Not kind, not mocking, but dangerous. "You want me to prove it?" "Yes." She shouted, her voice cracking under the pressure. "Show me now, human." The human's eyes swept over the watching crowd, then returned to her. His calm voice carried to every corner. "Very well, but when I do, remember you demanded. This, you chose it." The silence deepened. A heavy weight filled the hall. Even the air felt thicker. The landlady felt her throat tighten. Her instincts screamed at her to stop, but her pride chained her tongue. She lifted her chin higher. "Yes, I chose it. Now stop wasting words and show me." The human placed his hand back on the container. His movements were slow, deliberate, his eyes never leaving hers. The crowd leaned closer, breaths held, waiting for the reveal. But just as he began to pull the cloth aside, he stopped again, his voice calm and quiet. Cut through the silence. "Before I show you, understand this: humans do not reveal everything. Isley, what we keep hidden, we keep for a reason," the landlady snapped. "Enough riddles, I will not be fooled." She raised her clawed hand again, threatening to strike. "If you do not show me now, I will tear it away myself." The human's gaze flickered to her raised hand, and for the first time, a shift passed over his expression. His calmness remained. But underneath it, something darker stirred. His eyes glinted with a sharpness that made several aliens in the crowd step back. He spoke softly, but his words carried an edge. "Touch it, and you will regret it." Her hand froze midair. Her pride screamed to continue, but her body hesitated. A chill crawled up her spine as if her instincts finally sensed the danger her arrogance refused to see. The crowd murmured again. Their whispers carried fear this time, not curiosity. "What? Is he hiding? Why does he sound so certain?" Perhaps humans are not what we believed. The landlady clenched her teeth, her pride burned hotter. She refused to show fear in front of her tenants. She forced her hand down closer to the container, her voice loud. "Then let me see your secret, human. Let me see the power you hide." The man's voice dropped into a whisper colder than steel. "So be it." He pulled the cloth aside in one sudden motion. The crowd gasped. The landlady's eyes widened. Her arrogance cracked for the first time. She staggered back a single step, her proud face twisting with shock. What she saw was not what she had expected. It was not weakness, not fragility, but something primal, something powerful, something that no alien in that hall would ever forget. The human secret was revealed, and the landlady realized she had made the biggest mistake of her life. The challenge, the cloth fell away completely, and for a long moment the hall stood frozen. The alien landlady's mocking grin faded as her eyes fixed on what the human revealed. Her tall body stiffened. Her sharp breath betrayed her shock around her. The crowd whispered in disbelief. "What is that? Impossible. No human should have something like this." But the human himself remained calm. He stood straight, his eyes steady, his movements measured. It was as if he had expected this moment, as if he had known all along that the day would come when he would no longer be able to hide his secret. The landlady's voice cracked as she tried to recover her pride. This is nothing. A trick. A toy you keep to make yourself feel strong." Her words rang hollow. Her own people could hear the tremor beneath them. They could see the way her claws twitched, the way her eyes kept flicking back to what he had revealed. The human did not answer her insult. Instead, he took one slow step forward, his voice quiet but carrying across the silent chamber. "You demanded to see. You forced this moment. Now you must accept what it means." The landlady felt her chest tighten. His calm tone cut deeper than any shout. For the first time, she realized something terrifying. He was not angry, not even proud. He was simply certain. The certainty was worse than anger. It made her feel as though she was standing on the edge of a cliff, one step away from falling into something she could not control. Her pride screamed at her, pride louder than her fear. She straightened, raised her chin, and barked out, "Enough of this. If you truly have power, prove it. I challenge you, human." Gasps erupted around the hall. The crowd surged with whispers. A challenge, spoken aloud, could not be taken back. Among her kind, a challenge was sacred. It was more than a fight. It was a declaration. It demanded an answer. The human's eyes never left hers. His calm face revealed nothing. But his silence pressed heavy against her chest. After a long moment, he asked softly, "Are you certain?" The words froze her again. They were not the words of prey. Not the words of someone cornered. They sounded like a warning, like the voice of a storm before it broke. But the landlady's pride would not allow retreat. Her voice thundered louder. Then her fear. "Yes. I am certain. In front of them all, I challenge you, human. Show your strength, or prove once and for all that your kind is weak." The crowd leaned forward, tension buzzing in the air. Their eyes darted between the towering alien landlady and the calm human. It felt impossible, absurd. One was bred for power, the other supposedly fragile. Yet something about the human's stillness made the hall tremble. The human finally gave his answer. His voice was soft, but it silenced every whisper. "Then so be it. But remember, you chose this, not me." A heavy weight fell over the hall. Every alien felt it. It was as though unseen chains wrapped around the air, pulling them all tighter into the moment. The landlady tried to laugh, tried to show arrogance, but her voice faltered halfway. You think words can frighten me. I have crushed warriors greater than you." The human stepped forward again. Each movement slow, deliberate, and yet here you are, shouting, because deep inside you are already afraid. Her face twisted with fury. Her pride flared hotter. "Afraid? Of you? Never. I will show them all what humans truly are: weak, helpless, nothing." She raised her arm, claws gleaming under the light. The crowd gasped as she aimed them at his chest. But the human did not move. He did not flinch. His calm eyes met hers. His breathing remained steady. His stillness was louder than her threats. The silence stretched. The tension coiled tighter. Everyone waited for the first strike. Then the human spoke again. His voice sharp as a blade. "Strike me, if you must. But understand, this you will not win." The words sent a shiver through the crowd. Even those who had mocked him earlier felt their skin crawl. There was no boast in his voice, no empty pride. It was not arrogance. It was truth. The landlady snarled, her pride refusing to break. "Then face me, human. Let this duel decide what you really are." The human finally moved into the center of the hall. His steps echoed on the metal floor. The crowd circled closer, their eyes wide, their voices hushed. When he reached the center, he turned back to her. His stance was not like a warrior's. He did not raise his fists or crouch into battle. He simply stood tall, calm, as if the ground itself belonged to him. This shook her more than she admitted. Why did he not prepare to fight? Why did he look so calm, as if he already knew the outcome? Her claws trembled slightly. She clenched them tighter. Masking her doubt, she shouted, "Prepare yourself, human. I will not go easy." The man's lips curved into the faintest of smiles. His words quiet, almost kind, yet terrifying. "Do not worry. You will try your hardest." "But it will not be enough," the crowd murmured, fear mixed with awe in their voices. They could feel the shift. The duel had not yet begun, but already the balance of power tilted. The landlady's chest heaved, her pride roared, drowning her. Fear, she lunged forward, her claws slicing through the air, fast, deadly. Meant to end the fight in one strike, but the human moved, not with panic. Not with haste, with precision. His body shifted just enough. Her claws swiped through empty space. His eyes never left hers. His calmness remained unbroken. Gasps erupted from the crowd. The sound of disbelief spread quickly. The landlady attacked again, her movements sharper. Faster, she struck, left, right. Down, her claws tore at the air, but the human flowed around each strike with small, precise movements. Never once did he falter. Never once did he look strained. The crowd could not believe it. How is he doing this? He moves like he knows where she will strike. He is not fighting, he is controlling. The landlady's pride cracked as her breath quickened. Her fury made her strikes wilder, louder. But the human remained untouched, his silence mocked. Her louder than words ever could. Finally, he spoke again, his voice calm and low. Is this the strength you are so proud of? Is this what makes you believe we are weak? Her chest burned with rage and humiliation. Enough. Fight me properly, human. The human's eyes darkened. His voice fell like a hammer. This is fighting. You just do not understand. The crowd shivered at his words. They saw it now. The human was not avoiding, he was teaching. His calm defense was a lesson. Every missed strike a truth the landlady refused to accept. And deep inside, though she still screamed with pride, she felt it, the growing realization that she was no longer the predator here. She was the prey. The reveal, the duel had begun, yet it did not look like a duel at all. The alien landlady moved with speed and strength, her claws slicing the air again and again, each strike sharp enough to cut steel. Her voice roared with fury as she shouted, "Fight me, human! Show your power!" But the human did not strike back. He moved only when needed. A step to the side, a tilt of the head, a calm shift of his shoulders. Every attack missed him by inches. Every strike fell into empty air. The sound of her claws echoed against the metal floor, but never once touched his skin. The crowd gasped, murmured. Their voices trembled with awe. He isn't fighting, he's reading her. He's not afraid. How can a human move like that? The landlady's chest heaved, sweat beaded on her brow. Her pride burned hotter with every failed strike. She could not accept this. She could not let a human, her tenant, make her look like a fool. "You mock me?" she shouted, lunging again. Claws flashing, "You dare insult me by not fighting back." The human's eyes never wavered. His voice cut through her fury like steel through silk. This is not mockery. This is patience. His words struck deeper than her claws ever could. She snarled, her pride cracking. "Then stop hiding, human. Show me your strength. Show me what you truly are." The hall went silent at her words. Every alien watching held their breath. They all felt the weight of her demand. The duel was no longer about pride, was about truth. The human finally stopped moving. He stood still, his arms at his sides. His calm gaze locked on hers for a long, heavy moment. He did not speak, did not move. The silence pressed against everyone. Then his voice came, quiet but thunderous. "Very well. You wished to see what humans are? Then you will." The air shifted, the atmosphere thickened. The crowd felt at first an invisible pressure that settled over the hall. The whispers died instantly, replaced by wide-eyed stares. The landlady frowned, her instincts screamed. Something about the human felt different now. His calmness was still there. But beneath it pulsed something primal, something ancient. The human stepped forward once. Only a single step, but the sound of his foot hitting the floor echoed louder than her roars had. The aliens in the circle flinched, several stepping back without meaning to. What is this? One whispered, another hissed, "I feel it too." It's like standing before a predator. The landlady tried to hold her ground. She bared her claws, but her hands trembled. "Tricks? You are only trying to frighten us." The human tilted his head. His lips curled into the faintest smile, one that never touched his eyes. "If fear is all you feel, then perhaps you are not ready for the truth." He raised his hand slowly. Deliberately, he touched the container she had demanded to see earlier. Then, with calm precision, he opened it fully. The crowd gasped as a strange energy spilled into the air. It was faint, invisible to the eye, but everyone felt it, like a vibration in their bones. A hum that filled the room. The landlady staggered back one step. Her breath caught in her throat. She could not explain what she saw, not she felt, but it terrified her. The human's voice carried through the silence. "This is no trick. No toy. This is what your kind never understood. Humans are more than flesh, more than fragile bodies. We carry within us something you cannot measure, something hidden until you push us too far." His eyes glowed faintly now, not with light, but with intensity so sharp it cut into the soul. The crowd trembled, whispers spreading like fire. "He changed. He's not the same." This is what humans hide. The landlady shook her head violently, her pride struggling against the fear in her chest. "No. You cannot frighten me with parlor games. I am stronger than you." She lunged forward again, her claws raised high. The crowd gasped. Surely now he would be struck, but the human did not dodge this time. Instead, he moved with sudden, shocking speed. His hand shot up and caught her wrist mid-air. His grip was iron, unshakable. The sound of her claws scraping against nothing echoed in the hall. The landlady froze. Her eyes widened as she realized she could not move her arm. His hand held her completely. Effortlessly, she pulled, twisted, struggled, but nothing worked. The human's calm gaze bore into hers, his voice soft but heavy as a mountain. "You wanted me to reveal my power? Here it is. Not in weapons, not in claws, but in control." Her breath came in sharp gasps. Her pride shattered further with every second of her helplessness. Impossible. No human should be this strong. The human leaned slightly closer, his eyes unwavering. "You mistake what we are. You think strength is only what you can see, but humans endure. We adapt, we resist, and when you force us to reveal what we hide, we show you why we are never prey." The hall exploded with whispers. The alien stared in disbelief. He stopped her so easily. He didn't even struggle. Humans. They are more than we thought. The landlady's knees weakened. Her body shook. She had never felt powerless before, never felt her strength fail. Yet here she was, caught in the grip of the very creature she had mocked. The human finally released her wrist. He did not shove her, did not strike. He simply let go, as if dismissing her, as if she was no longer a threat. She staggered back, clutching her arm. Her voice cracked. "What are you?" The human straightened, his calm presence filling the hall. His voice carried, human. The single word shook her more than any answer could. It was not an apology, not an explanation. It was truth, simple and final. The crowd bowed their heads. Slightly, some out of respect, some out of fear. They had seen what he was, what he could be. And they would never look at his kind the same way again. The landlady's eyes filled with something she had never felt toward a human before to roar. Mixed with respect, she whispered almost too softly to hear. "I asked for this, and I was not ready." The alien's realization, the hall no longer buzzed with whispers. Instead, silence spread like a heavy fog. The crowd stood still, their wide alien eyes locked on the human who had just revealed himself. Their hearts beat faster, though none of them admitted it. The alien landlady stood trembling. Her proud frame hunched slightly as she clutched the wrist he had released. She stared at her arm as if it belonged to someone else. The pain was not unbearable, her kind healed quickly, but the humiliation was deeper than any wound. Her mind replayed the moment again and again. She had struck with all her strength. Her speed, her training. She had expected the human to fall, to beg, to confirm her beliefs. Instead, he had stopped her effortlessly. His calm grip had frozen her pride in place. His voice had cut sharper than her claws. She had demanded he reveal his strength. And he had. Now she wished she had never asked. The crowd began to murmur again. But the sound was not laughter this time. It was fear, awe, respect. He caught her so easily. One alien whispered, "She is one of the strongest of her kind." Another replied, "Yet he made her look weak." Humans. "They are not prey," came a softer voice. "They are predators, hiding in plain sight." Every word stabbed deeper into the landlady's chest. She wanted to scream at them, to silence them, to tell them it was a trick, but she knew it was not. She had felt his power, his control. She had looked into his eyes and seen something she could not explain, something ancient, dangerous. Her chest heaved, her pride cracked with every breath. Her legs trembled, though she tried to stand tall. The human, however, remained calm. He stood in the center of the hall, shoulders straight, his eyes steady. He did not raise his fists in victory, did not shout or mock. His silence was heavier than any roar. Finally, he spoke, his voice soft. Yet it carried like a command. "Now you understand." The landlady flinched at his words, her lips parted, but no sound came. She wanted to deny it, to laugh, to pretend. She still held control, but the truth weighed too heavily. Her voice cracked, trembling. You are not what we believed." The human's gaze held hers. His expression calm. "No, we are not." Her claws curled against her palms. She forced herself to stand straighter, but the shame burned in her veins. Her pride screamed at her too. Fight again, but her instincts screamed louder. They told her if she tried again, he would not stop at restraint. This time, he would end it. The crowd shifted uneasily. Their whispers grew louder. "We misjudged them. Humans hide their power. If one human can do this, what could many do?" The landlady's heart twisted. Her arrogance had always been armor, a shield she wore proudly, but tonight that shield had shattered. Her arrogance had not protected her. Her eyes returned to the human, his stillness terrified her more than any attack could have. She realized then that his strength was not only in his body, it was in his patience, his restraint, his control. He could have humiliated her further. He could have crushed her spirit with violence, yet he had chosen not to. That choice was power greater than claws, greater than muscle. Her voice wavered as she spoke again. "Why? Why did you not strike me?" You could have. The human tilted his head slightly, his eyes sharp. "Because I did not need to." Violence is not proof of strength. Control is. The words hit her harder than his grip had. Her breath caught in her throat. She finally understood. Humans did not reveal everything at once. They endured, they waited. They hid their true nature until forced to show it, and when they did, it was devastating. The crowd grew quieter as his words sank in. Some lowered their eyes, unable to meet his calm gaze. Some stepped back, instinctively giving him more space. The landlady felt something she had never felt before toward a human respect, but it was tangled with fear, the kind of fear that roots itself in the bones and never lets go. Her pride tried one last time to rise. You humiliated me before them all," she whispered bitterly. "You made me look weak." The human's reply was simple, steady. "No, you made yourself look weak. I only revealed the truth." Her knees nearly buckled at his words. They were merciless, not because they were cruel, but because they were true. The whispers of the crowd echoed again. "He is right. She forced him. She demanded the truth, and now she cannot bear it. Tears of fury burned behind her eyes. She clenched her fists tighter. Her pride wanted to scream. But her spirit had already accepted what her pride could not. She had lost, not just the duel, but the illusion that humans were weak. The human took another slow step forward. His presence pressed heavier into her chest. His voice quiet. "You regret it already, don't you?" Her throat tightened. She wanted to deny it. But the word slipped out before she could stop it. "Yes." The crowd gasped. The proud alien landlady, the one who had mocked humans for years, had admitted regret. Her head lowered, her shoulders shook. Her voice cracked again. "I regret underestimating you. I regret mocking you. I regret challenging you." The human did not smile. He did not gloat. His expression remained calm. His reply was simple. "Then you have learned something tonight." The weight of his words settled on her like chains. She knew it was true. She had learned a lesson that would scar her pride forever. She had looked at humans as fragile creatures. She had believed they were weak, lesser, nothing but tenants to push around. But tonight, she had learned the truth. Humans were patient, dangerous, and when pushed too far, they revealed themselves as something far more terrifying than she could have imagined. Her wrist still burned with the memory of his grip. Her spirit burned with the memory of his gaze. She knew she would never forget, and neither would the crowd. They had seen what a single human could do. They had seen the calm, the patience, the hidden power, and now they would carry the story beyond this hall, spreading it to others, whispering the truth that could no longer be denied. Humans were not weak. Humans were not prey. Humans were something far greater. The landlady bowed her head fully now, her voice breaking. "I was wrong." Her words echoed through the hall, and with those words, the legend of humanity grew stronger. Human superiority. The hall was silent, a silence so heavy it pressed into every chest. No one dared to laugh now. No one dared to speak over the weight of what they had just witnessed. The alien landlady stood trembling, her proud frame bent under the weight of her own regret. Her eyes stayed fixed on the ground. She could not bring herself to meet the human's gaze again. The human, however, stood tall in the center of the hall, his presence calm, unshaken. He did not raise his voice. Yet when he finally spoke, his words filled every corner of the room. "You call yourself strong because you can shout the loudest, strike the hardest, or intimidate the fastest. You measure strength by what is seen," he said. His tone was steady, soft, but sharper than any blade. The crowd listened, frozen. His words cut through the air like a current, but real strength, he continued, is not always visible. Real strength is not in claws, or scales, or glowing eyes. It is in patience. It is in endurance. It is in control. He looked slowly around the room. His eyes met alien eyes of every shape and color, and each one turned away, unable to hold his gaze. The landlady's throat tightened. She had mocked him for being too quiet, too patient. But now she understood his silence had not been weakness. It had been the warning. The storm building before the strike. The human stepped forward once. His calm footsteps echoed across the floor, louder than her earlier roars. "You believe. Dominance is proven by forcing another to kneel. But humans..." He paused, his eyes narrowing slightly. "We do not kneel easily." The whispers began to rise again among the crowd. Nervous, unsettled, they endure, even when broken. One alien muttered, "They resist, even when cornered." Another added, "They are not prey." Came a final whisper, trembling with realization. The human raised his hands slowly, not in threat, but as if to mark the truth of his words. "Our strength is hidden because we choose to hide it. We survive by adapting, by waiting, by knowing when to act. We look fragile to you, But fragility is what forced us to become stronger. Every wound taught us endurance. Every hardship taught us to fight longer than anyone else. The landlady shivered at his words. She remembered his grip on her wrist, his calm patience as she had struck again and again. He had endured, he had waited, and then, with one decisive act, he had crushed her pride. His voice lowered. But its weight grew heavier. You push us, you mock us, you mistake us for weak because we do not roar back at once. But when patience ends, when the line is crossed, you see what we are. The crowd fell into silence again. Every alien present felt the truth of his words. They had witnessed it themselves. The arrogance of the landlady shattered in a single moment. The truth of humanity revealed before them all. The human let his gaze settle back on her. His words sharpened. You asked me to prove myself, but I never needed to prove anything. It was you who needed to learn. Her knees weakened. She forced herself to remain standing, but her spirit trembled. Her voice cracked. You speak as if humans are greater than us. The human tilted his head slightly. His calm smile, cold and sure. Not greater, not lesser. Simply different in ways that terrify you, because you cannot control us. The whispers of the crowd flared again. Some aliens nodded slowly. Others shook their heads in disbelief. But none could deny what they had seen. The human stepped forward once more. His eyes narrowed. His voice now carried with the force of command. Understand this, humans do not seek dominance for sport. We do not fight to prove arrogance. We fight only when forced, but when we do. He paused, his gaze sweeping across them all. We do not stop until the challenge is ended. The words sank deep into every heart. They thought of the landlady's arrogance, her endless strikes, her mocking laughter. And then they remembered the moment when he stopped her cold with a single act. The bite, the grip, the calm patience turned into unstoppable force. The landlady's eyes burned with tears. She refused to release. Her voice broke. You are dangerous. The human's calm reply came instantly. Yes, but only when provoked. The weight of that truth pressed into every alien in the hall. It was more terrifying than any threat. Humans were not predators who always hunted. They were predators who waited. Predators who struck only when necessary, and that made them even more dangerous. The landlady staggered back half a step, her pride fully broken. Her head bowed, her voice low. Then, I was a fool. The human did not deny it. His voice was calm. You were. The shame tore through her like fire, but beneath the shame lay something new. Something she had never felt toward a human before. Respect. The human turned away from her, facing the crowd now. His voice carried as he spoke to them all. You will tell this story. You will whisper it to your kind. You will remember that humans are not weak, not fragile, not prey. You will remember that patience is not weakness, and silence is not surrender. The aliens shivered at his words. They knew they would carry them back to their homes, back to their worlds. They would tell others of the human who revealed himself, and of the proud warrior who bowed before him. The landlady's chest heaved. She whispered softly, brokenly, You have taken my pride. The human turned his head slightly. His calm reply was final. No. You gave it to me when you forced the challenge. The room remained frozen. The truth was undeniable now. Humans were not weak. They were the storm that waited, the fire that burned only when provoked. The predator hidden behind silence. The landlady bowed her head fully, her voice trembling. I will never again call your kind weak. The human said nothing more. He did not need to. His silence now was victory. His calm presence more powerful than any roar of triumph. The crowd lowered their eyes, some out of respect, others out of fear. The legend of humanity had grown before them. and they knew it would never be forgotten.